machine.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the main characteristics is one is the performance measure, and the second one is in which environment we are developing it. What my it means that the environment in the sense in which area, what are the properties of that, whether it may be deterministic or some stochastic, what type of behavior it will exhibit.
देखो, डिटर्मिनिस्टिक हो, स्टोकेस्टिक हो, ये सब तो थ्योरेटिकल बातें हैं. इसका फिजिकल सिग्निफिकेंस तो बड़ा ट्रिवियल है, ठीक है. बट व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड इज कि ह्यूमन हैज़ अ लिमिटेशन. In what many sense? Can you think about the limitations of a human? Human क्या नहीं कर पाता?
So long calculation with the very accuracy, high precision.
पहला तो मुझे लगता है वो बहुत सोच नहीं पाता है. सोचना इन द सेंस मेमोराइज नहीं कर सकता. एक लिमिटेड डेटा होता है जो उसे याद रहता है. वो पिन पॉइंटेड इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक डेटा मिनट टू मिनट याद नहीं रख सकता, राइट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मैं कोरोना पीरियड की बात करूं, जब हम लोगों को कोरोना हुआ और हम लोग अपना दिन में 11 बार टेम्परेचर मेज़र किया करते थे, राइट. तो सच पूछो तो हमें याद नहीं रहता था कि हमारा 1 घंटे पहले क्या होता था, 2 घंटे पहले क्या डेटा था, राइट. टेम्परेचर बस हमें एक अंदाज होता था कि व्हाट इज़ दी broad range within which my body temperature is changing, or what is the broad range within which my SpO2 oxygen level is varying, right. हमें सिर्फ थ्रेशोल्ड याद होता था. ओके, अच्छा, घर में अगर ज़्यादा लोग बीमार हो जाते थे तो इन दैट केस ऑल्सो समटाइम्स वी गॉट कंफ्यूज्ड कि ये डेटा उनका था कि इनका था. एंड सपोज इफ़, ये तो फैमिली की बात थी, अगर हम 1000 लोग होते, 10,000 लोग होते, 1,00,000 लोग होते, तो हमें तो बिल्कुल ही याद नहीं रह सकता था कि किसका बॉडी टेम्परेचर कितना है, ना किसी इंडिविजुअल का नाम याद रहता, राइट. सो देयर आर सो मैनी थिंग्स which a human cannot do. The very first thing is a human cannot remember every single point of data, right. So what we need is, we can make machines which can store information in a better way, right. So पहला तो एक ये चीज़ हुई. ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस जो नहीं कर सकता, हम उसको बीट कर सकते हैं. So in terms of memory, we can increase that memory. So artificial system can retain almost infinite data, in even not almost, but it can retain actually infinite data, right. So हमारे पास डेटा स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी आर्टिफिशियल सेंस में ज़्यादा है और ह्यूमन सेंस में लिमिटेड है. अब वैसा ही प्रोसेस करने की कैपेबिलिटी की बात कर लें. सो व्हाट कैन वी प्रोसेस वेरी कन्वीनियंटली, एंड कैन वी प्रोसेस इंफॉर्मेशन almost for about anything and infinite number of persons. हमारी कैपेसिटी एक दिन में कितनी सर्जरी करने की होगी. जैसे हम लोग करते हैं ना, ऑफिस टाइम हमारे 8 आवर्स के होते हैं, व्हाई नॉट 24 आवर्स. बिकॉज ह्यूमन उससे ज़्यादा मेहनत नहीं कर सकता, फिर थक जाएगा, राइट. सो आर्टिफिशियल सिस्टम ऐसा होगा जो बिना थके काम करेगा, राइट. अच्छा, अगर मैं कहूँ कि ह्यूमन की प्रोसेसिंग स्पीड क्या है, तो वो कितनी है, हम कितनी देर में कितने काम कर सकते हैं. यूजुअली हमारा रिस्पांस टाइम क्या है? 1 मिली सेकेंड से लेके 2, 4, 5, 10 सेकेंड, एंड इनफैक्ट कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज़ों के लिए तो हमारा रिस्पॉन्स टाइम बहुत लंबा होता है. कोई स्टूडेंट हमसे कोई क्वेश्चन करके जाता है तो हमारा रिस्पॉन्स टाइम समटाइम्स 1 दिन, 2 दिन, 3 दिन भी हो सकता है. या हम वी कीप ऑन थिंकिंग. अगर कोई रिसर्च स्टेटमेंट है या कोई पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम है जो हमें फर्दर स्टडी करनी है, तो समटाइम्स इवन वी नीड टू think again and again, and our response time will be limited. Can be, I mean, limited by means it will be limited in speediness, right? So we cannot respond instantaneously. However, if I talk about a machine, a machine can respond to almost instantaneously. A machine can work continuously round the clock, and it can come up with variety of ideas as well, right? So artificial system. अच्छा, एक चीज़ और बताओ, वो तो करेंगे. आर वी मल्टी टास्कर और वी जनरली डू सिंगल टास्क?
सिंगल टास्क सर.
हाँ,
मोस्टली एक काम करने के लिए पर्टिकुलर एक टाइम पे हम एक ही वर्क कर पाते हैं.
कहाँ कर पाते हैं? अभी हम सेशन अटेंड कर रहे हैं, हाथ में पेन है, अटेंडेंस भी कर रहे हैं, तब तक कोई एक आया साइन कराने, मैडम यहाँ साइन कराना है, तो हमने इवन उसके कागज़ को बिना देखे साइन भी कर दिया, राइट? हम क्यों कर पा रहे हैं? और वो छोड़ो, हमको ये भी याद रहता है कि कल झगड़े में किसने बोला क्या था, और हम सेशन अटेंड करते करते वो बात भी याद आ जाती है कि देखो उसने ये भी कहा था, अच्छा चलो अब मैं आज बताती हूँ, राइट? तो मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि ह्यूमन ब्रेन एनॉर्मसली पैरेलल है, राइट? सो हम एट अ टाइम एक टास्क एक सेक्शन से करते हैं ब्रेन के. However, we have variety of other modules continuously available. कॉन्शियस माइंड अलग होता है, सबकॉन्शियस माइंड अलग होता है, हमारे सपने भी हर बार अलग अलग आते हैं, हमारे सॉल्यूशंस अलग अलग आते हैं. जब हम बात करते हैं तो सेम टॉपिक पे हर बार लगभग सिमिलर होता है थॉट प्रोसेस वाइज, बट जनरली हमारा कोई भी सेंटेंस हम दोबारा सेम रिपीट नहीं कर सकते, राइट? So what I actually I am trying to emphasize is from where Karthik started. क्या है? What are the important? Karthik क्या बोल रहे हो? रुको एक मिनट देखने दो मुझे.
Yes, sir. For example, if we want to design a real-time application, so what are the important factors can we consider?
अब ये तो डिपेंड करता है कि तुम किस स्टैंडर्ड पर काम कर रहे हो. मीन्स व्हाट आर योर रेफरेंस और व्हाट इज़ योर टारगेट परफॉर्मेंस. रियल टाइम एप्लीकेशंस में अब जैसे टाइम सेंसिटिव नेटवर्क्स, राइट? व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट टाइम सेंसिटिव नेटवर्क्स?
So here in this time sensitive networks are some shortest distance measuring. We already have some problem in
shortest
distance. That is traveling salesperson problem.
नहीं. शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मेल भेजते हो, व्हेन यू ट्रांसमिट एन ईमेल, हाउ मच टाइम डज इट टेक फॉर द ईमेल to reach to the receiver?
It depends on the bandwidth and the network performance.
अरे थियोरेटिकल बातें छोड़ दो. यहाँ ना अभी हम लोग बिल्कुल कैजुअल पर्सनल टॉक्स कर रहे हैं. यहाँ हम बुकिश बातें नहीं कर रहे हैं. जनरली अगर कभी मेल भेजते हैं तो कितनी देर लगती है उसे रिसीव करने में? इंस्टेंटली मिल जाती है या कई बार 1 मिनट भी लगता है?
तो कभी तो स्प्लिट्स ऑफ सेकंड्स और कभी होता है 2-3 मिनट 5
हाँ,
मिनट लग जाते हैं.
ऐसा क्यों होता है? कार्तिक से पूछ लेते हैं. कार्तिक, ऐसा क्यों होता है? समटाइम्स वी रिसीव द मेल्स इंस्टेंटेनियसली, समटाइम्स इट टेक्स टाइम.
Yes.
क्यों होता है ऐसा?
Because sometimes it requires, sometimes the server is not in proper way. It isn't done.
अगर मैं नेटवर्क कम्युनिकेशन प्रोटोकॉल्स की बात करूं तो एक्चुअली क्या होता है जो डिले इंक्लूड कराता है? सो बेसिकली it is about the network congestion and
Yes.
traffic delay, right?
Yes.
सर्वर से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. सर्वर तो बहुत ही लास्ट में आता है, ठीक है. सर्वर तो बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट एक ऑप्टिमाइज्ड मशीन है जो सिंपली पैकेट ट्रांसफ़र कराती है.
Yes.
द क्वेश्चन इज, जो रूट तुम्हारी ईमेल के पैकेट्स के लिए यूज़ होता है, इज़ इट ऑलवेज द सेम या ये रूट चेंज होता रहता है? अच्छा, जो मेल जाती है वो सिंगल मेल जाती है या पार्ट्स में जाती है? सिंगल पैकेट होता है, सिंगल फाइल होती है, या मल्टीपल स्मॉलर पैकेट्स होते हैं जो ट्रांसमिट किए जाते हैं?
सर स्मॉलर पैकेट्स में जाती है वो.
राइट. अगर स्मॉलर पैकेट्स में जाती है तो हर बार वो रूट सेंडर से रिसीवर तक सेम होता है या चेंज हो जाता है?
सर रूट समटाइम्स चेंज होता है सर.
वेरी गुड. सो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि कभी कोई जीमेल पर भेजी हुई ईमेल हमें ऑस्ट्रेलिया के थ्रू आती है, कभी कोई पार्ट ऑफ माय ईमेल पैकेट इज रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम यूएसए, राइट. समटाइम्स इवन अगर हम इंडिया की भी बात करें तो इंडिया में भी मल्टीपल ब्रॉडकास्टिंग नोट्स हैं. तो हमारी भेजी हुई मेल के बहुत सारे पैकेट्स, कुछ पैकेट्स किसी एक डायरेक्शन में जाते हैं तो पैकेट्स किसी दूसरे डायरेक्शन में जाते हैं, और फाइनली जब रिसीविंग एप्लीकेशन होता है तो उन डिफरेंट पार्ट्स को वो असेंबल करके फाइनली एक ईमेल क्रिएट कर देता है. सो एट द एप्लीकेशन लेयर फाइनली आई एम एबल टू सी कि हमें मेल रिसीव हो गई, राइट. ईमेल इज़ नॉट अ डिफ़िकल्ट thing to transmit in real time because हमें immediate read नहीं करना है, ठीक है. However, if I talk about YouTube video का content भी huge है. So when I am sending huge content, can I now afford to receive some part of packet later and some part of packets now only? कभी कभी ना YouTube में देखा होगा एक बफर आता है, बफरिंग वीडियो. वो क्या होता है? कभी देखा होगा ना, कभी कभी YouTube वीडियो चलने में देर लगती है, उसमें लिखता है कि बफरिंग है.
नेटवर्क इशू की वजह से
हाँ, तो
डेटा कंज्यूम हो गया अगर ज़्यादा तो भी ऐसा बफर.
अरे यार ऐसा मत बोलो भाई, ऐसा बिल्कुल मत बोलो. डेटा कैसे ख़त्म हो जाएगा? 1.5 GB का तो पर डे मिलता है और जियो का तो 5 GB भी पर डे मिलता है, तो डेटा कहाँ ख़त्म हो गया?
नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम आई गेस.
हाँ.
आई मीन इन जनरल वे में मेरी
बस,
भी
बस.
नहीं है, बट हाँ फिर
हाँ, तो वो जो नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम है, वो नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम क्या है एक्चुअली, यही जानना चाहते हैं. और उसी से हम लोग वहाँ पहुँचेंगे जो कार्तिक का प्राइमरी क्वेश्चन था. नेटवर्क कंजेशन. नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम तो कुछ नहीं होती, नेटवर्क भर जाता है, ठीक है. तो एक पैराडाइम डिफरेंस है, वो कहता है कि as of now the internet protocols which we are using as on today, they are operational on best effort service. बेस्ट एफर्ट सर्विस क्या होती है? आपका बच्चा हमारे यहाँ दे दीजिए, हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट में एडमिट करा दीजिए, हम बेस्ट एफर्ट करेंगे कि वो पास हो जाए, ठीक। हम सारे टीचर्स मिलके उसको खूब पढ़ाएंगे, बट मान लो वो फेल हो गया तो आप क्या करोगे? हो गया तो हो गया, भाई हमारा बेस्ट एफर्ट था, राइट। अब यही चीज अगर मैं स्मार्ट सिटी एप्लीकेशन में लगा दूं, बेस्ट एफर्ट सर्विस, तो उसमें क्या होगा? जैसे आपने टैक्सी बुलाई, बेस्ट एफर्ट होगा कि टैक्सी आ जाएगी। आपने एम्बुलेंस बुलाई, बेस्ट एफर्ट ये होगा कि एम्बुलेंस आ जाएगी। आई तो आई, नहीं आई तो नहीं आई, ठीक है। अगर हम इंटेलिजेंट सिस्टम्स की बात करें, अब जैसे फैक्ट्री ऑटोमेशन हो रहा है, ऑटोनोमस व्हीकल्स बन रहे हैं, राइट, इनके इंटेलिजेंस में क्या बेस्ट एफर्ट चल जाएगा? ब्रेक लगाना था, बेस्ट एफर्ट था कि ब्रेक लग गया? नहीं लगा तो क्या होगा? कि कैन वी एक्सक्यूज एंड टॉलरेट दिस थिंग? नहीं, राइट। व्हाट आई मीन इज अभी हमारे नेटवर्क प्रोटोकॉल्स बेस्ट एफर्ट सर्विसेज पे चल रहे हैं, जहां हम ये कहते हैं कि अगर हमने मेल भेजी तो बेस्ट एफर्ट है कि मेल मिल जाएगी। अच्छा, कई बार मेल मिलने में या डिलीवर होने में देर लगती है। उसका कारण क्या है? रास्ते में कहीं जहां पैकेट्स ट्रेवल कर रहे हैं, मल्टीपल नोड्स आर देयर, कोई एक सेगमेंट ऐसा हो सकता है जहां कंजेशन चल रहा हो, या जहां ट्रैफिक ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा हो और बैंडविड्थ अवेलेबल कम हो। तो क्या होगा? वो सेंसर नोड, वो कम्युनिकेशन नोड पैकेट्स तो रिसीव करता जाएगा और उसका पाइल बनाता जाएगा। सपोज पैकेट्स के पाइल अप के लिए 1 MB स्पेस हमने दिया हुआ है उसके बफर में, ठीक है। तो जो पैकेट्स आ रहे हैं और अगर बफर के बियॉन्ड एक्यूमुलेट होते हैं तो वो पैकेट्स का क्या होगा? जैसे हमारी बाल्टी में पानी आ रहा है, बाल्टी में नीचे एक छेद है, ठीक है, उससे पानी बहता भी जा रहा है, तो हमने नल का इतना पतला वॉल्यूम रखा है ताकि जितना पानी गिर रहा है उतना बकेट में जा रहा है। एंड सपोज इफ दिस water increases, if rate of flow of water increases, eventually what will happen? Gradually the bucket will start rising, gathering more water because the drain is less, and eventually what will happen? Finally your bucket will be full and the additional water which you are pouring in will start getting splitted, right? So this is a typical problem in our current communication network, where we say that we will try not to waste your water. Here the bucket is the network node which is receiving your email packets or packets of information from multiple users, right, in its bucket. And the lower hole in the bucket is the forward link, to which whatever is the capacity of the succeeding link, accordingly the data is being sent there. So now what will happen? If you have more packets to transmit, however onward forwarding rate of this packet transmission is less, you will accumulate more packets in the buffer, causing delay. And if the bucket is full, then in physical sense, if there is more water in the bucket, it may spill up. But if you have more packets beyond the bucket capacity, buffer capacity, in electronic means, in electronic sense, your content will be dropped, means the email which you had sent, part of its packets will be dropped at that bucket. Usually we call this as leaky bucket algorithm. So what happens? Your content is coming, however, it is not, you are not able to forward it. Eventually, there is another provision to flush the bucket. ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा पैकेट्स आ गए, if you have received more than the allowed packets, it will get flushed. What will happen to those packets which were flushed? Would they still be present in the network or they will go off? तब क्या होगा? The packets which are coming but you were not able to forward, and so you flushed those packets. So क्या हुआ? What would happen? It is just like when we flush off all the images in our WhatsApp folder. All the images have gone. Okay? So what happens? Once a packet is flushed, a request to send the packet again is placed to the sender, and the sender once again sends that packet which was lost in between. And this is why, suppose there is significant congestion, you will keep on transmitting and resending your packets again and again. It will keep on gathering the packets, but if this packet is not getting forwarded, automatic repeat request protocol will get initiated and it will request to receive that packet back, right? So this is a major point in real-time communication. In real-time communication, when I am speaking, my packet must be received at the other end within a particular stipulated time frame. For example, if we are talking right now, few of you, those who are not having good bandwidth or staying at remote locations where bit error rate is significantly high, what will happen? You will not be able to receive your information in time. Okay? And then current network protocol says that this is a best effort packet delivery service, so they are not responsible for this delay, eventually leading to delay in transmission of the information. So the information which you were supposed to receive quickly, you may not be able to get it, right? So now what we understand after this lengthy discussion, that current network protocols are not suitable for real-time communication, right? If they do, it's fine, but it is still an stipulation of the network performance, right? So there are many ways. Number one is increase the bandwidth, channel bandwidth, decrease the bit error rate. In fact, these days in the 4G communication network, in 4G technology, the mobile handset also talks with the base station, and suppose bit error rate is significant, then it can readjust the network parameters so that your bit error rate will be reduced. Reduced bit error means if there is less error, so whatever packet you have received will be accepted by the receiving end, recipient end. Once again, can you afford to lose the information? No, you cannot afford to lose the information, but you can always use forward error and error detection and correction codes so that the packet which you have received has limited number of errors, only as many errors which you can correct by using certain different types of like cyclic redundancy code, forward error correction codes, and different types of coding, block coding, or the different types of coding schemes, right? So if you are able to correct the packet information at a recipient compute node, you can always quickly correct that loss of error, loss of data, and you can now we start utilizing that information rather than requesting the sender to send the packet again, right? So as on today, if we are able to talk, number one, we are on a good network. Since network is good, our packet which is being transmitted is not getting erratic, and it is expected that we will receive the information quickly. Okay? But now we come to 5G and 6G network standards. When we reach there, you will find that their packet delivery standards are 1 microsecond. Okay, which says that any packet which was transmitted must be received by the recipient of the data or receiver of the data within 1 microsecond time period. Okay, so usually 1 millisecond to 1 microsecond, depending upon what kind of network standards we are going to use, or what is our quality of service parameter. So we understand what is one quality of service parameter. Can anyone tell me what is the quality of service parameter if I talk about the communication systems? QoS हम लोग खूब बात करते हैं. Can anyone tell me what is quality of service parameter in networks? Quality of service parameters in networks. Suppose at this point of time I want to talk, I want to make a call. Acha, tell me, can you make a WhatsApp call all the time? जब भी कभी करो तो हमेशा व्हाट्सएप कॉल अच्छा चलता है या कभी कभी अच्छा चलता है, कई बार नहीं चलता? कैन एनीवन टेल मी दिस? हाँ, यस, कोई बताइए.
नो सर, हर टाइम व्हाट्सएप कॉल सही नहीं चलता है ड्यू टू नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम.
नेटवर्क कंजेशन, राइट?
यस सर.
सो एक्चुअली अच्छा, क्यों होता है ऐसा?
सर, जब नेटवर्क अगर हमारा स्लो होता है तो वो कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाता है व्हाट्सएप कॉल को, और जब नेटवर्क की जो हमारा रेट होती है, बैंडविड्थ होती है, जब वो हाई होती है तो वो इजीली कनेक्ट हो जाता है.
अच्छा, कनेक्ट तो वो हमेशा रहता है, ठीक है, कभी डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं होता. कभी देखो तो अरे टेक्स्ट मैसेज तो लगातार आते रहते हैं, व्हाट्सएप कॉल नहीं हो पाता, राइट?
सर, शायद उतनी स्पीड ना मिल पाती हो उसको, नेटवर्क स्पीड.
राइट, नेटवर्क स्पीड नहीं, इसको कहते हैं बिट एरर रेट. मतलब अगर मैंने 100, इफ आई हैव ट्रांसमिटेड 100 बिट्स, आउट ऑफ 100 बिट्स only 20 bits could be received correctly, right? So in this case what happens, if you are sending a text message, usually the file size, the data size will be very small, so it may be expected that within that small frame or time frame your data is small enough to get transmitted. If your data could not be transmitted, there would be another opportunity and it will be retransmitted. So the chat which you are receiving continuously, sometimes it takes time, sometimes it takes less time, sometimes it can be delivered immediately, but still, since the repeat request time is very small, you will receive the packet very quickly, right? So retransmitted information may be received quickly. Now, however, when I talk on WhatsApp call, number one, whatever I am speaking is a speech signal, so this will be a large signal. This will be a larger quantum of information. Large number of bits are to be transmitted. The packet size would also be a jumbo packet. So what will happen? Large packet transmission, suppose you are trying to sending 1 MB of information. 1 MB transmission of data or 100 KB of data within that small time frame will not be possible. So what will happen? It will be there will be a repeat request. However, even sometimes you might have heard that the WhatsApp voice which is coming, sometimes it comes at a faster rate, because they have an algorithm that if there is less bandwidth, store the information within a buffer, and as soon as there is better bandwidth, push the whole buffer at a faster speed with different time sampling rate. So differently time sampled rate will reduce the chunk of information, will send it quickly as a smaller file with faster sampling rate. So you will feel that your voice frequency has been increased. जल्दी जल्दी बोलने लगते हैं, जैसे नहीं the way in LIC schemes and other things, sometimes they speak it at a very speedy audio. The investments are subject to market risk. They don't speak it slowly the way the whole advertisement was shown, but this part is spoken at a faster rate, right? So what happens is, during the period when there is more error in the channel, your WhatsApp call is transmitting more information, but it will be lost and retransmission will be requested, and eventually you will not be able to receive it on time. Okay, so bit error rate. So this is what I was emphasizing, is that in time sensitive networks, the latest industry 4 standards of communication networks, here it is different. Here they say for every single transmitter we can have a dedicated channel which is continuously free and available, right? So what will happen? As soon as you will speak, there is one clear empty channel right from the sender to the receiver, dedicated channel. If there are such parallel bit transmission, those parallel bits can be transmitted parallelly, right? So once again, there is no scope of congestion. However, in industry 4 standards or factory automation or smart city applications, where we require stringent compliance of the time sensitive network standards, TSN it is called, right? The packet must be delivered within the stipulated quality of service period. For example, you have chosen quality of service to be 1 millisecond, then within 1 millisecond my packet must be received. This particular packet should have been delivered without any retransmission or packet loss. So the new standards in 5G and 6G are guaranteed packet delivery service rather than best effort service of 4G protocols. So this is how in industry 4 standards in the upcoming period everything will be different. Okay, it will be a time sensitive network compliant system where packet delivery will be very fast and quick. Okay, so this is a paradigm shift between current network protocols and the new network protocols, and this is what is being modified, is how to do MIMO communications, multiple input multiple output parallel communication channels, so that faster data rate could be achieved. If I have to transmit some information or some file, I should have capability to transmit this information in parallel, right? So that and this is what we do in USB 3 standards or big data exchanges. In big data technology also, suppose you have magnetic disk of say 100 gig magnetic disk, and you want to transmit this whole information at a faster rate, what you can do, rather than transmitting serial information in serial protocol, you should transmit in parallel protocols. So almost all of us might have used internet download manager, IDM. Has anyone used internet download manager? जब हम बड़ी फाइल्स डाउनलोड करते हैं तो यू माइट हैव सीन कि IDM एक नई प्लेटफॉर्म हुआ करता था. IDM used to transmit the data in parallel, or you might have seen that multiple parallel paths were opened, and from all those parallel paths the information was sent, and therefore your download speed used to increase very many times. Does anyone remember this? किसी ने यूज किया है कभी इंटरनेट डाउनलोड मैनेजर?
Yes, sir. And I think many of us have used internet download manager.
Right. So IDM is the technology with which we have speeded up the data transfer speed. So this is the similar type of approach to speed up. Actually, you know, the physical network is always constrained. Physically, technology wise, things are slow. Retaining the existing technology constraints, how to evade it. So it was good if there is a file which is present at 100 different locations, the same information. So when you will request to download a file, you will download that file from 100 such sources, but you will not download each file right from the start. Each file will be broken in multiple parts. From respective server, you will download only one part. Okay, so what will happen? Suppose there is 1 MB file, and this file has been duplicated at 10 different locations with 100 KB parts sizes, 0.1 MB sizes. So what will happen? We will download it parallelly, one by one, simultaneously in parallel. So IDM will download that high the volume of data within 1/10 of the time which otherwise you would have required. Okay, so there are basic changes in real-time communications. Data redundancy may use to speed up your data. Then creating guaranteed packet delivery service that will help you increase the faster download of the data. And accordingly, in new time sensitive networks, you can very conveniently come up with quality of service parameter. Quality of service parameter says that every single packet which will be transmitted will be delivered within 1 millisecond time period. If there is a robotic control in industry 4 industrial environment, and suppose the robot is welding some place or some sheet, right? So the rate at which the information is being sent to control, or suppose there is some doctor who is performing a remote surgery, right? Every single packet or signal which the surgeon has sent from his remote location, maybe he is right now present at USA and performing a surgery at India remotely through robotic control. Every single movement of his scalpel must be accurately transmitted at the receiving end. So if you are going to implement this kind of thing, any protocol between transmitter to receiver cannot be implemented by using your 4G, 5G, 6G, your mobile handset based internet. It essentially requires TSN compliant protocols, time sensitive network protocols, and this is what you have to allocate. Now this is where the 5G 6G networks are intelligent networks. Why are they intelligent networks? Depending upon, as I told, for faster communication you require a dedicated channel in parallel. Okay, so suppose you are speaking, I can replicate your information in 10 different sources. I can create 10 dedicated parallel channels and instantly transmit your each of the bit parallelly, right? So if there is larger file, I will require larger number of packets, a smaller file, a smaller number of packets. In industry 4 standards, generally the bit which is transmitted is not the packet size, or information size is not huge. They are meant for real time communication. For example, if you have to apply brake, or if you are driving a vehicle autonomously remotely through intelligent methods, for such intelligent devices the control will be transmitted in real time with very small number of bits, so that only that much very small amount of bit could be transmitted instantly, right? And we will also ensure that not any single bit of information is required to be retransmitted or will get lost. Okay, so these are the time sensitive networks. So anyways, with this we will in fact come back to the original thing which I originally wanted to talk, was regarding intelligent networks. So one thing is very 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 important. Number one, intelligent systems will require intelligent platform. Intelligent platform means intelligent sensors, intelligent network, intelligent processing. Okay, so as I was talking about that, we can think about uh, a smart city case. In smart city applications, by the way, what is a digital city, or what might be an smart city? स्मार्ट एंड डिजिटल में कोई फर्क है? कोई बताए स्मार्ट और डिजिटल में क्या फर्क है? और ट्रेडिशनल सिस्टम क्या है? व्हाट कैन बी ए ट्रेडिशनल सिटी? कोई बताओ.
ट्रेडिशनल
हाँ,
ट्रेडिशनल विल बी मोर लाइक जहाँ हर पैरामीटर्स और डिसीजंस मोस्टली ट्रेडिशनल बेसिस पे और ह्यूमन इन्वॉल्वमेंट के थ्रू होते हैं. डिजिटलाइज जहाँ पे टेक्नोलॉजी का ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है, और स्मार्ट सिटी जहाँ टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ इंटेलिजेंस को भी हम लोग यूज़ करते हैं.
मैं तो एक और वर्ड ऐड करना चाहूँगा. ट्रेडिशनल सिटी, डिजिटल सिटी, स्मार्ट सिटी एंड इंटेलिजेंट सिटी, राइट?
ओके,
4 बातें हम लोग कर सकते हैं. ट्रेडिशनल सिटी क्या होगी? ट्रेडिशनल सिटी तो वो सिटी हुई जिसमें हम लोग पले बढ़े हैं बचपन से. एनालॉग सिटी, राइट? एनालॉग सिटी का मतलब है जहाँ ह्यूमंस हैं, मशीन्स भी मैकेनिकल हैं, some of the things are digitalized like use of computers and kind of thing. But in general, still today, when you will require some land related documents, they will find it from the paper file. So a traditional city, traditional office, everything is more or less analog, right? Undigitalized. In a digital city, your land record would have been digitalized, your health record would have been digitalized, your municipal corporation documents, public service documents, even your FIR and everything, the movement of information within police Chowki and the police stations, all such things will be digitalized. Your hostel is digitalized. Your delivery of medicine is digitalized. So, if I will say, even as on today, most of us are living in a digital world where things are getting digitalized, is still not completely digitalized. Okay. If I say that now my city is becoming a smart city, how would you say that it is going to be a smart city? हम कैसे बनाएंगे? How would we create a city to be smart rather than a city to be digital? या मैं ये कहूँ कि to create a digital smart city, first you have to digitalize the city. Can it be true? If so, then how are you going to digitalize a city? कैसे करेंगे digitalize? कोई बताओ?
Using digitalization, we can involve some machines which will do the initial security check, and include robots who will help you guide the directions in the mall, or maybe involve certain other applications which will help you in something like that, maybe.
I would say we will place sensors to
Yes, sir.
measure, to detect every single signal, right? So if I have to park a vehicle, I should know where the parking is available, right? So the very first thing, chalo, let's talk about the smart parking system. So in case of smart parking, can any one of you guess how a smart parking system would be designed? क्या क्या components होने चाहिए? What are the basic ingredients which we should include in a smart parking system? Guess करो. We have a large city. There are a number of parking places, and on those parking locations, we want to park a vehicle by knowing whether the parking location is free or it is all full. कैसे पता करेंगे?
Our sensors are required. We require primary components, maybe sensors, and then GPS.
Okay.
The more intelligent components like display devices should be there to know whether a particular, to display the unoccupied locations or
देखो,
unoccupied.
डिस्प्ले डिवाइसेस तो तुम्हारे हमारे हाथ में ही है.
Yes, sir.
वी हैव अ मोबाइल हैंडसेट, एक ऐप बना दिया और उसमें डिस्प्ले कर दिया. ठीक. सो अगर मैं इसकी डिज़ाइनिंग शुरू करूं, सो आई कैन डिज़ाइन अ स्मार्ट पार्किंग सिस्टम right from the place of parking. Wherever I have parking locations, can I place certain sensor which will detect if there is a vehicle at that location or not? तो किसी पार्किंग स्पेस में गाड़ी खड़ी है या नहीं खड़ी है, उसके कम से कम 4 तरीके मुझे बताओ, using which I can detect whether a vehicle has been parked at a particular location or not.
Sir, through temperature sensor, we can measure that.
Temperature sensor क्या सेंस करेगा?
Temperature of that particular location.
टेम्परेचर से क्या होगा? रात का वक्त है, बर्फ गिर रही है, अब क्या होगा?
Uh, Sir, the places where we park the vehicle,
हाँ
and we have some places we don't have the vehicle.
हाँ हाँ
So there should be some temperature difference. If you park the vehicle,
नहीं, टेम्परेचर डिफरेंस तो तब रहेगा जब हमने गाड़ी, अभी हम अपने लंबी ड्राइव करके पहुंचे हैं तो गाड़ी गर्म रहेगी थोड़ी
in
देर,
that case, there will be
ठीक
the
है?
temperature difference.
हाँ, लेकिन थोड़ी देर बाद जब मूवी देखते देखते गाड़ी ठंडी हो जाएगी, आधे घंटे बाद, ठीक है, तो वो पार्किंग टेम्परेचर कम हो जाएगा, गाड़ी ठंडी हो गई, तो फिर
In that
टेम्परेचर,
case, sir, we can use pressure sensors.
हाँ, एक तो प्रेशर सेंसर हो सकता है, ठीक है। दूसरा
सर सोनिक सेंसर्स,
सोनिक सेंसर, अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर्स लगा देंगे, और क्या लगा सकते हैं?
विजन इज ऑब्वियस,
क्या?
विजन सेंसर यानी कैमरा।
करेक्ट, यस, मैं तो वही सबसे पहले एक्सपेक्ट कर रहा था कि सबसे पहले तो कंप्यूटर विजन का कैमरा लगाएंगे, एक बड़ी दूर लगा देंगे तो आधे मॉल में जहाँ तक कैमरा कवर कर पाएगा उतना तो पता ही चल जाएगा कि कहाँ कहाँ पार्किंग है, एंड फॉर द रिमेनिंग थिंग यू कैन डू दी कंप्यूटर विजन एनालिटिक्स। तो इमेज एनालिटिक्स जब आप करोगे तो यू विल गेट टू नो वेदर कहाँ कहाँ पार्किंग है, ठीक है, तो कितनी पार्किंग लोकेशंस भर गई हैं, कितनी लोकेशंस खाली हैं, वो पता चलेगा। हम इंफ्रारेड सेंसर लगा सकते हैं, अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर लगा सकते हैं, एज यू सजेस्टेड हम प्रेशर सेंसर लगा सकते हैं, कंप्यूटर विजन सेंसर लगा सकते हैं, ठीक है ना। अब सेंसिंग तो हो गई, देन व्हाट? अब और नेक्स्ट क्या चाहिए होगा अपने को?
Sir, communication system will be required to transfer.
नहीं भाई, पहले तो तुमने मान लो अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर लगा दिया,
Yes, sir.
तो सेंसर किस पे लगेगा? सेंसर तो बाजार में मिल जाएगा, अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर मिल गया, अब अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर का करेंगे क्या? कहाँ फिट करेंगे उसको?
सर पार्किंग स्टैंड में भी।
हे भगवान, पार्किंग स्टैंड में लगाएंगे? उस मशीन को, उस छोटे से सेंसर को कहीं तो लगाओगी ना, किसी कंप्यूटर से जोड़ोगी ना, तो लैपटॉप रखना पड़ेगा वहाँ, सेंसर चलेगा कैसे? सेंसर को कंट्रोल कौन करेगा?
सर वायरिंग करनी होगी,
वायरिंग, डेटा केबल, डेटा केबल आजकल किसी के पास नहीं है, सब वाईफाई में चलते हैं, तो वायरलेस करना पड़ेगा, तो वायरलेस मॉड्यूल भी चाहिए होगा, तो वो कहाँ लगाएंगे, किस पर लगाएंगे? यस, डॉक्टर मोनिका कहाँ हैं आप? इतनी देर से हम लोगों को तो दिखाई नहीं दी। डॉक्टर मोनिका, आर यू देयर? अरे अभी एक मैसेज तो आया था। चलिए, तो अभी वो कहीं और भी बिजी हैं, मल्टीटास्कर है लगता है। तो करना ये होगा कि हमें एक सेंसर चाहिए होगा, सेंसर को हम किसी कंट्रोलर या माइक्रो प्रोसेसर में इंटरफेस करेंगे, राइट? सो वी विल बी एबल टू रीड द वैल्यूज ऑफ अ सेंसर। सो सेंसर को अगर मैं एक थ्रेशोल्ड पर डिजिटल सेंसर यूज़ करूँ, सो अच्छा एक चीज़, ठीक है, पहले ये भी पूछ लेता हूँ। We have two varieties of sensors, digital sensor and analog sensor. Can anyone tell me what would be a digital sensor, what would be an analog sensor? And if any one of you might have worked with sensors, he must know that it has 4 pins. One pin is VCC, power supply, other pin is ground, and there are 2 other additional pins. One pin is analog output, one more pin is digital output. What is the difference between analog output pin and digital output pin? Can anyone tell this? क्योंकि हमारे इस केस में हमको उस सेंसर का वो फीचर टिपिकली यूज करना है। तो एनालॉग सेंसर क्या होगा? बताएं कोई. एनालॉग सेंसर वो है जो भी पैरामीटर मेज़र करना है. फॉर एग्जांपल अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर लगा दिया, तो अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर क्या करता है? व्हाट इज़ द यूज़ ऑफ अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर? कोई बताओ. अभी किसी ने प्रपोज किया था ना, सोनिक सेंसर यूज़ कर सकते हैं.
सर वो साउंड वेव्स जनरेट करता है. अगर किसी ऑब्जेक्ट से वो ये होगा, कोलाइड करेगा, तो वो रिटर्न करके उसकी टेस्ट करेगा, रिसीव करेगा कि क्या उसके कहीं किसी ऑब्जेक्ट से उसका कोलिशन हुआ है या नहीं.
ओके, तो रिसीव करने से उसको फायदा क्या होगा? क्यों रिसीव करना चाहता है?
सर जैसे कार पार्किंग की एग्जांपल ले रहे हैं, तो
हाँ.
अगर एम्प्टी स्पेस है,
हाँ.
तो हमारा दूर तक जाएगा जो साउंड वेव
वेरी
है.
गुड, ठीक है.
और अगर कार वहां आ गई तो कार से ये करके कोलाइड करके वापस आएगा. तो वो जो रिसीविंग है वो डिफरेंस हो जाएगा.
राइट, तो वो करेगा डिस्टेंस सेंसिंग या डिस्टेंस मेजरमेंट. तो अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर हो या इंफ्रारेड सेंसर्स हो, इनमें कुछ नहीं होता है. वो जहाँ भी ज़मीन में एम्बेड किया जाएगा, वहाँ से वो अपना एक सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट करेगा ज़मीन में या वॉल पे, और वहाँ से सिग्नल ट्रांसमिट करेगा. अगर वहाँ व्हीकल खड़ा है तो शॉर्ट डिस्टेंस से रिफ्लेक्शन हो जाएगा. राइट, सो हमें पता चल जाएगा कि वहाँ तो कोई चीज़ खड़ी हुई है. देयर इज़ एन ऑब्जेक्ट because of which the signal reverted back. However, if there is an empty space, it will measure a farther distance. So we can say that means that space is right now empty. Okay. So now what happens? Once we have detected, so analog sensor will give you the actual distance between the sensor and the object. So it may give you a 10-meter reading, it may give you a 1-meter reading, it may give you a 30 centimeter or 5 centimeter reading, right? That there is a vehicle parked. However, suppose there is no vehicle, or if so are we interested where and how the vehicle has been parked? बहुत सेंसर के पास लगी है कि दूर लगी है. Is this information useful to us, or only knowing that there is a vehicle or there is no vehicle? Right? So in that case, what kind of information are you looking forward to? You want to know how much far away the vehicle is placed, or you just want to know whether a vehicle is placed or not? What is your information requirement?
If there is a vehicle or not.
राइट, सो हमें डिस्टेंस मेजर करने के मेजरमेंट की वैल्यू चाहिए है?
No sir.
नहीं चाहिए. तो हमारे सेंसर में दो आउटपुट्स हैं. एक आउटपुट है एनालॉग आउटपुट, जो आपको एक्चुअल डिस्टेंस ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट फ्रॉम द सेंसर ये बताएगा. एंड देन देयर इज डिजिटल आउटपुट which will give you a digital information, 1 or 0. If there is a particular threshold beyond which some value is coming, it will give you 1. If the value is less than that, it will give you a 0. So for example, my parking space is a 3-meter length. Okay, so if there is no vehicle, the distance will be 3 meters. If there is any object placed there like a scooter or a car or a larger vehicle, right, SUV, the distance is surely going to be less than 10 meter, 3 meter, right? So in that case, we will set the sensor in such a way that if the distance is almost 9.5 meter, the parking space is empty. However, if there is a bike standing or some larger vehicle is standing, the distance will never be 3 meter. Rather, it may be 1 meter or almost only 30 centimeter or 100 centimeter because the vehicle is parked there, right? So in that case, we will only look forward to know whether the distance is beyond 2.5 meter or less than 2.5 meter. So we will set the sensor setting in such a way so that typically sensor will give you a output 1 or 0. 1 means there is a parking, 0 there is no parking, the parking is free, right? So in this way every sensor has digital output. I mean, most of the sensors nowadays are having two outputs: digital output, which is a threshold weight based, so it will give you 1 or 0 value, and a distance based system where it will give you the actual reading of the distance from the object, which will give you an idea of actual value, so we will know it as a analog sense output, right? So now this ultrasonic sensor will be interfaced with what? ये सेंसर हम कहाँ लगाएंगे? मतलब कहीं हमको ये रीडिंग चाहिए ना 1 और 0 की, तो where would we read it? Who will read this value? And from where we will would we read? बताइए. डॉक्टर मोनिका, उन्होंने ही बताया था ना प्रोसेसर. सो हम वो सेंसर इंटरफेस करेंगे आर्डिनो, रास्पबेरी पाई, किसी माइक्रो कंट्रोलर या माइक्रो प्रोसेसर से, राइट? माइक्रो कंट्रोलर या माइक्रो प्रोसेसर क्या करेगा? इट विल रीड दी सेंसर वैल्यू कंटिन्यूअसली at a frequency which you will set. By frequency I mean it may read the sensor value after every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, every hour, in whatever frequency of time you require it, right? So in this way you will keep on receiving the information, and based on the information now your controller has 1 or 0. There is a vehicle placed is 1, 0 means the space is vacant. What would you do in this case? Now after this, what is your next step? बताओ.
Now if there's need to make sure that कि जो next vehicle आएगी वो उतने confined space में अच्छे से park होते हैं.
अरे भगवान, वो व्हीकल तो तब आएगा जब आप उस व्हीकल को बताओगे कि सर यहाँ जगह है.
यस सर, तो उसके लिए हम लोग उसको
ब्रॉडकास्ट करेंगे. ब्रॉडकास्ट कैसे करेंगे? इंफॉर्मेशन को ट्रांसमिट करेंगे. इस इंफॉर्मेशन को ट्रांसमिट कैसे करेंगे? उस आर्डिनो, अगर हमने एक आर्डिनो अच्छा, हमें चूंकि स्मार्ट पार्किंग सिस्टम बनानी है ना, तो हर एक पार्किंग की लोकेशन में एक सेंसर लगाना पड़ेगा. तो हमारा सोल्यूशन 200 रुपये या 100 रुपये से ज़्यादा महंगा भी नहीं होना चाहिए, और एक सिंपल सा होना चाहिए ताकि हम वहाँ ले जाके उसको इंसर्ट कर दें उसकी ज़मीन पे या दीवार पे. ठीक है ना? तो जितनी पार्किंग लोकेशंस होंगी, हर एक पार्किंग लोकेशन पे एक सेंसर होना ज़रूरी है. ठीक है? उसी से हमें पता चल पाएगा कि वो जगह खाली है या नहीं. तो फॉर सच केसेस वी वुड यूज़ अ लो कॉस्ट माइक्रो कंट्रोलर्स, फॉर एग्जांपल टाइनी 80 माइक्रो कंट्रोलर, या हम ले सकते हैं एटमेगा 328 माइक्रो कंट्रोलर, आर्डिनो माइक्रो कंट्रोलर. ठीक है? एंड वी कैन इंटरफेस द अल्ट्रासोनिक सेंसर विद दैट using digital pins, so that I can now only know whether a vehicle is there or not, and this Arduino will require one Wi-Fi module, or will require one Bluetooth module or something else, or a LoRa module, long range transmission module. LoRa module will be costly, Wi-Fi may be very cheap, and within the whole parking zone you will have to enable it with Wi-Fi. Okay, so all physical sensors, rather every physical sensor node is what? One Arduino controller fitted with ultrasonic sensor. Now this sensor node will receive 0 or 1, and through its serial port it will transmit this 1 or 0 to the cloud. Cloud means it will send to Wi-Fi. So through Wi-Fi connectivity, or it may have a GSM module. So in that case, every single module will have a power supply. I mean, in fact, power supply is everywhere required. GSM module will require large current power supply and can have a SIM. But the difficulty with SIM is that how many SIMs are you going to place at every parking space? That will create a huge charge. So generally what we do, around that area, Wi-Fi network is deployed. So one Wi-Fi, because the data is very small, all you require is from a particular sensor number, you have to identify 1 or 0, right? So in this way, multiple ones and zeros from respective locations will be transmitted. Once transmitted, we can receive it at the cloud or at central server. The central server database will receive ones and zeros at all the locations wherever we want to develop the smart parking system. Now what will happen? This information, smart parking, information availability of parking will be transmitted to the central server database. At that central server database, we will also run an Android app API or Android app, which will receive or extract data from this database, which is containing zeros and ones. So what will happen? In the mobile app's backend, you will get a mapped data of all the locations which are having 1 or 0. Now I can show it like on the app, like wherever there is a parking, it will show you a red dot. Wherever there is a green, right, or wherever the database is 0, we will show it as green. So and then this whole information will be mapped on Google Map, so that when you will open your app in your mobile handset, in real time it will synchronize the current data available in the parking server for the whole city, and this information will be placed as green and red dots at that location. Okay, now it may so happen that I can also add information of the booking of that location. Suppose someone has, so I can create a booking mechanism where I can book a particular location for 3 hours, because suppose I have to go to watch a movie, so I know that from evening 6 to 10 p.m. in the night I will require a parking. So during the daytime I can have this app, I can immediately book that location, and accordingly a red dot will be shown from 6 to 10 p.m. because I have already paid in advance at that location, right? Now what will happen? At that location, if on that red dot anyone will click, he can also see whether the booking period is from 6 to 10, and suppose I have to reach. So in that case, I can show the dots with a yellow color when parking is about to become available from say within 30 minutes, right? तो क्या होगा, देयर कैन बी फ्यू parking locations which will show you a yellow dot which will tell you that it has been booked till 10 p.m. If you want to book, you can book it from 10 p.m. onwards. So what will happen? The location will be made available and shown as yellow, that booking is about to be over. But there is one difficulty. Sometimes we book it for certain period. However, I may not return at 10 p.m. In such cases, the charging amount, the amount to be charged from the previous parking person will be extended for another hour or one more hour. So when he will have to pay, he will pay for the whole duration for whichever he has availed. Meanwhile, the yellow user can be given a booking in the form of वेट लिस्टेड बुकिंग, जैसे ट्रेन में होता है, जस्ट लाइक ट्रेन्स. सो पीपल कैन समटाइम्स इवन बुक in advance, in waiting. If there is green availability, he can book it from a given time. So in this way, eventually what we did, right from identifying whether the location is vacant or not, to actual parking situation, then showing it on the map in real time, and as soon as the status of the booking will change, so my controller at each location will scan the data every 1 minute or every 10 minutes. So in this way we will be utilizing much less energy, but every 1 minute I will update the main database. So now with this facility of smart parking in a city, you can have an app, you can book your parking space and you go and park your vehicle. Okay, so this is one of the applications which a smart city. So what you did actually right now, you have digitalized the parking system. It is still not intelligent parking system, right? However, it will become intelligent parking system if, suppose if I require to book as soon as the location is empty, it will inform me that your one parking space has become vacant at this location. In this way, in smart parking system, there is significant scope of implementation. So now the thing which comes in our mind, that what we finally did, this is a cyber physical system. We use cyber because network communication was used. We used a sensor because this is a physical system. So physical system on a cyber platform becomes a cyber system, cyber physical system, and cyber physical system essentially captures data on the cloud, right? So now what we talked about, only one example. Now consider that there are 1 million parking locations all throughout the city, or 10,000 locations. Now this is highly scalable. I can add any number of parking locations. I can just keep on placing more sensors and the whole city will be covered, right? So this is a very, very pertinent area where right now people are doing, right? So this is one thing. And then what you did, you interfaced the parking location using a sensor on the internet. So I can also call this as Internet of Things, right? So we are creating cyber physical systems using Internet of Things platform. So variety of things. Parking location is now talking directly with the customer. So this is next thing. Then quality of service. What I mean is, if you want to know that as soon as a space is available, it should be informed. So in that case, you will make it implement a quality of service that if I have booked a location, I must get it vacated by that time, right? Quality of service will mean that if I have overused the parking location, I will pay for that, right? So whatever service you are delivering should have a proper quality, right? So that is a very important thing to consider. Okay, so this is a smart parking system. If I talk about smart water system, water management system, तब क्या होगा? The water meter placed at your house from the municipal corporation will be an intelligent water meter. Suppose you have prepaid for 100 liters of water every day. So your smart water meter must deliver 100 liters of water every day. No matter whether you were in the college or attending a duty or you were somewhere else, the 100 liters of your part should be available continuously. So how would you make it? From the main water supply tank, you will release 30,000 liters of water to all respective users, maybe twice a day, thrice a day, जो भी frequency रखी है. Now what will happen? Sometimes even I heard this, that there are some users who use Tullu pump and kind of water pumps and drain all the water, right? So the poor people who are not having water pumps, other people with water pumps snatch their water. So now with smart water meters, what will happen? It will keep on counting how many liters you are allowed to drain, whether you are draining it using a water pump or by simply placing a bucket, right? The water will be supplied only up to 100 liters. Beyond that, it will automatically shut off the further power supply. And since it is a smart water meter, it will have an internal clock connected with the cloud. So as and when the cloud bit will become 1, once again the water tap will start. So now the user will not have the control of the water tap. Water tap will start giving you water automatically, right? It may switch on and switch off, and if it is switched on, it may show you a green light. That means water is available, you can drain it. But if you have already drained that component of water, it will stop further supply of water and it will indicate with a red color LED. So if it is red, more water you can, even if you will open the tap, water will not come. If it is green, if that means water of your part is still available, right? So in this way, a smart water management system will ensure that within a large city, whether you are engaged in your duties or elsewhere, you will get the water of your right. Okay, so that is the thing of quality of service. If I have to get 100 liters of water, I will always get it, right? So similarly, you must have smart homes. You will have smart wearable devices. आपको कहीं हो जाता है, suppose your BP is rising, so you are connected with the cloud all the time. So your BP, so that is smart healthcare. Similarly, smart energy, your meters will be prepaid, right? And using a mobile app, you can recharge your electricity. Intelligent energy management में क्या होगा? On the cloud, it will keep on telling you that, dear sir, this much is the quantity or chunk of energy you have been requiring every day, right? So these are various places where you can save your energy. So in a smart energy system, and for that saving, you may get a reduced electricity rate. So variable electricity rate can be there. For example, every one of us uses air conditioner in the evening. Sometimes suppose, and since the load is high, it will be costlier. What can be offered, if you will not use your air conditioner in the afternoon time, in the evening time, your electricity charges will be less. So now there is a quality of service in the electricity supply parameter. There will be higher rate at peak time, lower rate at otherwise time. So what people can do, during the afternoon when it is cheaper, you can keep your AC on so that the whole the room is almost chilled, and in the evening you can keep your AC off, right? Similarly, smart transportation. So wherever there is more traffic, there you can always send more taxis. Where there is less traffic, there is no reason. Right now what happens, the taxi person goes around the area and finds whether there is traffic or not. If there is a passenger, he will pick, or otherwise sometimes he keeps on waiting for people to come. Why to do that? Why not to show him a heat map of passengers all across the city? So jahan passenger has to wait more, where there are more number of passengers, less number of taxis, people should be able to watch your intensity of traffic at any location as a heat map all across the city. So at every location, wherever it will show you a red or orange color, that means there is heavy traffic and taxis are less, right? So taxi person, rather than sitting elsewhere, he will go to that location, right? So you can understand it like this. During the morning time, 10-11 period, people are moving from outer city area to the central city area because they are going to join their duties. In the evening, they will be returning from their places and coming back to the residences. Once again, traffic will be more. So a taxi should be available more. However, during the afternoon period, there might be people who might be going to market or elsewhere. So for such things, during that period, rather than waiting at office areas, a taxi person can go to that. So in this way, by showing an intelligent heat map, you can conveniently tell people where is a taxi person, where more passengers are available, right? So smart transportation, and in fact, once you will start and you will digitalize yourself in so many different ways, you will become a smart community. So now wherever we require support, wherever we require more business, in fact sometimes, as you might have seen, if you use a Google map in the evening, wherever there is congestion, it shows the road with red red color. So what happens, by using that information, you can see that okay, that road is engaged, so rather than going through that road, I can go through some other road, right? So that is the aspect. So what we understood, if I talk about a smart city aspect, any framework of the city, right, will comprise of sensors, communication network, and data storage and analytics. So I will say that a smart city will be a 3-layer system. Digitalization system, you have to digitalize everything. By using 0 and 1 bit flip, we digitalized parking space. This digital information was transmitted on the network, right? And then through this network, we received this 1 bit of information at the database, at the cloud. So through the cloud, now number of people can use mobile apps and access such data. So even For example, if I want to know whether in which part of the city development in future is about to happen, so what would you do? We should have analytical space, analytical scope of analysis of digital data, using which I can say that this is the area which is being developed right now. The land prices are less, and I should invest in that area, right? So what I mean is, humans are intelligent and they understand, right? And we can predict. Similarly, we should have intelligent city system where you can, or a city can even propose. Suppose if you want to buy a land, intelligent city support system should give you an option ki, sir, buy a land on this area, in this area, or in this area. These are the greener areas, because rates are increasing in these areas very quickly because of the some new highways coming, or some new industry is being set up, right? So a smart city will be thriving on digitalized information of a city. Intelligent city will thrive on digital information and its analytics, its smart analytics, right? So such kind of things are there. So number of things are there, but now you know, are there only a limited number of people to avail facility in the smart city? No, there are millions of people. So every single information will not be small, rather it will be huge, and it will have variety of aspects, okay? That the information is being generated at a very fast rate. So number one, every different platform has been digitalized. So from somewhere you will find computer vision data, from somewhere you will find only 0 and 1, from some place you will find audio data. So number one, variety of data is huge. Then volume of data is huge, because every 1 minute you have to sense every parking location. So if you have to sense it so quickly, every time you will transmit 1 bit or 0 bit, and there are such 1 million parking locations, all of them will be sending. Similarly, maybe in Varanasi city we have 2800 surveillance camera, all those cameras are transmitting the data. So volume of data is huge. Then velocity of data. What is velocity of data? Velocity of data is means data is coming at a very fast rate, every 1 millisecond, 1 second, 10 second, 20 second. So the data is coming very quickly, right? So variety of data is there, volume of the data is there, velocity of the data is there. Then eventually reality of the data. That means how real and authentic is this data. So blockchain and encryption and other data security system you have to deploy, that whatever data is generated is an actual representation of the information of interest, right? Then sharing of the data, as I said, using a mobile app, you can immediately see where the parking locations are available, which hospital is available. If I am a corona patient, at which hospital can I get a bed available? So sharing of data is very essential. So in smart city applications, you have to think about this, how to share useful data. So there will be huge digital data. You have to analyze this using intelligent techniques, and then using AI ML you have to come up with inferences, digital inferences, that what kind of information is to be shared as a result. I mean, no one is interested in the ingredients of the cooking, rather people are interested in the recipes. So you have to provide well informed decisions and guidance to the user of your data. And then whatever is the data, suppose I am traveling to some place and it is my movement is available on the data on the server, and suppose my enemy comes to know that I am moving to that place, or say a lady is moving in a lonely place. So now, since data is available about almost every and any person, now people can keep on tracking when would you be alone, right? Suppose I am staying at home, I am aged, my aged mother is staying at home alone. If some thief comes to know that, oh, these are the people who are staying alone at homes, right, he can always come and um, do the wrong things. So security and privacy of the data is also very important, right? So with this, I believe we have discussed significantly well. So I think now we can close here, right here, and open the house for further questions and discussions if you have. And I thank every one of you to be listening and with so much interest that I did not feel bored. And at least we could talk about some example cases as well. And I think it was good. So others, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you, sir, for providing your time and efforts to this FDP on intelligent computing and communications. And thank you for the wonderful way you have explained the basics of the smart city development. So thank you, sir, for that. Thank you once again.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I will share my WhatsApp number and email address over here. So all those who want to stay in touch, if you want to know something more about me, or if you are trying to do some project or etc., please let me know. I am sharing my email ID here. As well as since emails are so many, sometimes I may not be able to respond to your mail, so my WhatsApp number is also there. Please feel free to connect me over there. Right, so thank you so much, everyone. I enjoyed talking to you all. Actually, I always prefer, rather than opening large, well written PPTs and telling you about what technology is, sometimes what we need is to discuss things with our informal approach, so that even if 3 of you or 10 of you could start thinking about coming up with new solutions for a smart city, right, that will be a great achievement of this workshop, right? So it is not just that we want to bombard you all with very high end information. Rather, we would look forward to give you a thread from where you can always start your activity, right? And to whatever in depth you want to go, we will be happy to stay connected. So please feel free, drop me a message, connect with me. And this is not the end of the lecture, rather start of our engagement and activities. So okay, thank you everyone. Bye, take care and stay healthy. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, bye.